Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to have some Division 20 online ranked gameplay using none other than Arnold Allen. And Arnold Allen now is on quite a good win streak in the Featherweight division, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes. His previous win was obviously against Dan Hooker in UFC London. The UFC is now heading back to London after that event was a huge success, and I don't think he's on the card. I think he's waiting. I know there's a lot of fights booked up in his division. Obviously, he deserves someone that's higher up, especially with the win streak he's built up, and how he finished Dan Hooker was incredible to see, and it's nice to see these getting some recognition. And it just goes to show that there's a lot of fighters, especially from the UK. I'd say him and Leon are extremely underrated. I think now Tom is getting the credit where he deserves, and obviously Darren Till is just a huge star, so he's always had that respect. But I think how Arnold dealt with the pressure against Dan Hooker, I mean, that's such a big occasion. It's a big name fighter. He's got a lot of fans, and just went out there and absolutely dismantled him in a fashion that we hadn't seen before. It was extremely impressive, and after seeing that, I definitely wanted to get in there and use him in game. And this was me using him against a Yair Rodriguez, who was also in Division 20, and this was before he had received his buff. So that's one thing to mention. This was before he received the buff for the Dan Hooker fight. I think in the second gameplay is after he received the buff. So the two clips here, they were from separate seasons. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this guy. I think he's very good. I think he's well rounded as well. I think he's got a decent ground game, and obviously on the feet, I think he can definitely hang. He's got, I think in the division now booked up, you've got Volkanovski, Holloway, the trilogy, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez, and then you've got Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett. So it's pretty booked up in that division. And speaking of that division, Zabit has now, retired, which is crazy to see. He's going to be the biggest what if in MMA history. I mean, Zabit is an absolute fan favourite for this style of fighting, could do everything. And knowing that he's retired is crazy. I mean, at least he went out on his own terms, and he's going to pursue a career in medicine, which is extremely admirable. But yeah, it's going to be extremely sad to see not be able to see Zabit in the octagon. I'm definitely going to be getting a video out with Zabit, so look forward to that. But yeah, before we get into the actual gameplay, I just want to say a huge thank you to all the support on the content as of recently. I know I haven't been uploading as consistently. I think it's only been one video per week, and that's just because I've been extremely busy. But I'll get back to 2 or 3 uploads a week shortly. Yeah, just thank you for being patient. Thank you for the growth. I think we're on 312 subscribers, so shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for all the likes on the videos. I see that the interactions are going up as well, so thank you for that. And yeah, hopefully I can get around to playing some of you guys. I should be streaming next week on Wednesday, I believe. I should be able to get some streams in. So yeah, should be streaming next Wednesday around maybe 10 AM UK time, so feel free to jump in and we can run some games. And if we get any good gameplays, it can definitely go on the channel, as I know a couple people have been requesting that. But coming up against like Yair, obviously I'm not going to have the advantage on the feet. Yair is going to be very tricky to deal with, especially considering how fast Yair is. And you can see that I've implemented quite a grapple heavy approach just because that opportunity presented itself there, and I'm definitely going to have the advantage when it comes to the ground game. So that's exactly what I'm going to be looking to utilise. I mean, this division is very stacked. I mean, every division in the UFC is pretty stacked, but this one in particular at the moment is, you've got a lot of great fighters. Obviously, you've got Volkanovski, who's looking unbeatable. You've got Max Holloway, who's an absolute legend, debatably the greatest featherweight of all time. You've got Calvin Kattar, you've got Brian Ortega, you've got Josh Emmett, you've got Giga, and maybe that's who you see is Giga versus Allen, or potentially Allen fight the winner of Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez. That would make a lot of sense as well. So we'll see what happens. But you can see that here, I'll take Yair's back, jump on top, and then he has to opt to throw me to the ground, and we're in back seat, and this is a very dominant position here. My opponent does a very good job to get out of this and is now in my full guard. However, I'm not very worried when it comes to Yair Rodriguez being on the ground, get the easy sweep there. And I'm just going to look to build up some GA, pass, do some damage here and there. If a submission opportunity presents itself, then I will be looking to do so. The main submission I really look to get with Arnold Allen is the guillotine when in that sport position, or the anaconda, sorry. That's what I really look to go for. Other than that, the rear naked choke from back sitting. He doesn't have the Kimura from side control, which is of course one of my favourite submissions in the game. but getting into side control, landing those elbows is still going to do a lot of damage to Yair's head health. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. The longer Yair's on his back, planted like this, the easier the fight's going to be for me. And I think coming up against any Yair player, everyone knows exactly what to do. You really got to get the fight to the ground as quick as possible and just look to do enough damage so that when you get back onto the feet, it's going to be very easy to get those stuns and those knockdowns. And as it stands in round 2, having another good round, another very dominant round. You can see I'm denying the transitions correctly here, building up GA with the little punches to the head, the good denial again, and posturing up here and there just to land some good ground and pound. So yeah, this is exactly what I would recommend doing against the Yair, or whatever fight you're in with whatever fight you're in where you feel like Arnold Allen isn't having the advantage. So if you feel like you're fighting a Max Holloway and you don't have the advantage on the feet, you can look to go to the ground. And then if you're fighting Volkanovski and you feel like you don't have the fight advantage on the feet, go to the ground. He does have that skill set. Obviously he's not going to be the best in the division. I still feel like he's I feel like he's the dark horse of the division. I feel like people know who he is, but they don't really utilise his skill set correctly on the game. I feel like Pryor was probably, at the time of me recording this, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Pryor's the only one that properly made a video on him. I think he called him like the Max Holloway killer, if I'm correct. But yeah, Pryor gave him a lot of credit. But I do think he's really good. Obviously, this was pre-buff. I think post-buff he's definitely a lot better. And finished the round on top there. That was a very emphatic finish. A lot of blows landed there just before we had to get split up before the round ended. So finished the round in a very good position. Now it's back onto the feet. You can see that there's a distinct speed advantage between Yair and myself. You can see that when Yair throws, it's like lightning quick. I don't think I have a video with Yair on the channel, so it's something that I'm definitely going to look to do. I need to get really good with utilising and chaining combinations, but I think the next featherweight I will do a video on will have to be Zabit. Hopefully make that a long one, quite a good video, because I'm a big fan of Zabit, and normally Zabit content tends to do quite well for me. You can see in that southpaw stance, throwing that roundhouse to the body does a lot of damage. I mean, Yair's in the perfect position for me to utilise the roundhouses to the bodies. You can see I go for it again there. Yair spinning heel kick to the head. And you've always got to be careful with Yair. I mean, throws crazy things out of the bag, got the flying knees, got all the kicking arsenals you want. Great work to the body there, mixing it in, throwing that knee. And right now, everything's flowing, and then bam, get hit with a head kick. And that's exactly what happens, you know, especially when you're fighting these high division guys. You feel like the fight's going smoothly, you feel like everything's going your way, and then crack, all of a sudden the slightest of kicks or punches can change the momentum. So right now I'm here, I'm just trying to gather my thoughts. You can see that I'm pressuring, I'm trying to keep this in a boxing range. Whenever Yair steps in, I'll step in as well, just to sort of meet Yair in the middle, because the last thing I want to do is have a kickboxing exchange with Yair, just because I feel like the speed difference is always going to win him the battle. I feel like in terms of power, there's not much difference. Definitely done well, that's definitely thanks to the work I've done in the prior rounds with, you know, damaging the body of Yair and then damaging the head health. And you can see that I get knocked down. Round is definitely definitely not going my way as it stands. Yeah, he's definitely had the better of this round. However, staying calm, staying focused, and then nasty uppercut to finish the fight. So yeah, that was a good, I feel like that was a good showcase of what you can do on the ground, you know, and how he is standing compared to someone that's an elite striker such as Yair Rodriguez. And now we're coming up against the champ, who, you know, all credit where it's due. Volkanovski is just simply unreal. Cannot wait to see him fight Max Holloway in the trilogy. I do think he lost the second fight, but yeah, that doesn't mean, you know, that doesn't mean anything. You can see here, very uber aggressive Volkanovski. I try to back him up there, go for the leg kick, spinning elbows constantly, which is like, you know, what everyone's doing after Martial Mind showed that rowdy playing, you know, the guy that just cheeses 24/7. Ever since I feel like Marshall showed that video, all I come up against now is knees and elbows. But yeah, you know, this is the harsh reality of playing in Division 20, and this is how some people get their points. It's not through skill, it's just through exploiting game mechanics and being as cheesy as possible. And you can see that my opponent's really going all out here, so I'll give him credit. You know, he's a cheesy fighter, and he's gonna keep trying to cheese. So shout out to people like this, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I deal with someone like this. You can see the constant pressure, wasting a lot of stamina because missing strikes, and I'm just gonna stay calm, back away, pick my shots, and just be extremely patient. You'll see what happens. This is what always happens when I come up against these type of fighters. It's very rare that they get the win. Shoots for a takedown here, which is something that I could see that my opponent was trying to do every now and then. Would go for a takedown, but was just out of range. I was a bit confused by this because, you know, you can't spin an elbow on the ground, and I know that's what you want to do, so very confusing. And often or not, when you get these guys onto the ground, you'll see why they are the way they are, is because they can't do anything. They've just got to pray and hope that those elbows do something and those knees do something on the feet, because once the fight gets to the ground, that's it. I mean, most of the time these guys don't even try. The fight will get to the ground, you'll deny a couple transitions, and then they simply just give up. And I think that's, you know, it's laughable in many ways, because you're going to look to exploit the game as much as possible, and then when someone brings out a submission, you can see no stamina, and he decides to quit. So he just stays there, basically gives me the win. But yeah, this playstyle is extremely toxic. I hate the way these type of fighters play. So if this guy's watching the video, please stop the elbow spamming and just, you know, learn to play the game for what it is. But that's going to be the video for today. Like I said, I'll try to get more uploads when I can, hopefully 2-3 times a week, back to how it used to be. Any content suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. Like I said, the video I'm going to be working on is the Zabit video. We'll be trying to stream next Wednesday around 10 AM UK time, maybe a bit later on. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you next time.